Shia Labeouf has never kept his traumatic childhood a secret, yet somehow through all the drama, the actor seemed to brush it off as no big deal. It seemed as though Shia was unaffected by the instability and shocking events of his childhood. Until one day, the actor finally snapped, taking his career and his loved ones down with him. Little did he know that he was suffering from an undiagnosed condition, which would only come to light much later on in his life. Unfortunately, with the actor's latest down spiral, along with allegations of sexual abuse, it seems that his career and reputation are now at risk once again.
You're in a shitload of trouble, son.
Before we get into Shia Labeouf's story, remember to give this video a like and subscribe to Rumour Juice.
Just do it!
If you want to be the first to know when we upload new content, give that notification bell a ring too. When he starred in his film Honey Boy, portraying his own father, the world got a much deeper look into what it was really like for him growing up. The film was heart-wrenching and allowed fans to have a better understanding of Shia and what it was like for him living in poverty with a father who was abusive and addicted to substances.
Very interesting things about the movie is your dad really didn't behave like a father at all.
Yeah, he was my dude. He was like a buddy.
Yeah, but not in a well,
not the best
not
buddy.
in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a buddy. I love you.
By the way,
Honey Boy seemed to be Shia's way of getting back on the big screen, garnering several awards, and for a moment, it was as though the actor had gotten himself back on the straight and narrow after going through quite a few twists and turns in his career. However, just over the last few months, the actor seems to have fallen off the rails once again, following allegations of abuse from his ex-girlfriend, singer FKA Twigs.
You can't be serious! You cannot be serious!
The couple officially began dating in around 2018 after meeting on the set of that very film, Honey Boy. The two were immediately attracted to one another, a close friend reported, but they still wanted to keep their relationship on the down low for as long as possible. They enjoyed each other's company and got along really well, and soon started getting spotted out together. However, they still tried to maintain their privacy, avoiding the cameras as often as they could. However, just 9 months later, the couple split, and for a while, no one knew why, until Twigs finally opened up about the alleged abuse she suffered at the hands of her now ex-boyfriend.
He was threatening to crash the car unless I said I loved him, and ended up basically strangling me in public at a gas station, and nobody did anything.
While the world was not unfamiliar with Shia's often radical behavior, news of his alleged physical and emotional abuse was a complete shock. Knowing that the actor himself had suffered abuse at the hands of his own father, how could he have then gone on to do the same to someone he loved? "It's a miracle I came out alive," she confessed. FKA Twigs sat down for a very candid and intimate interview and went on to explain in explicit detail all the trauma she had endured during her relationship. She described Shia as manipulative, explaining the calculated, systematic, tricky, and maze-like tactics he would use to control her. He would allegedly gaslight her, isolate her from her friends and family. All the constant anxiety she felt during the relationship even led to the singer having serious sleep deprivation. If you put a frog in a boiling pot of water, that frog is going to jump out straight away, whereas if you put a frog in cool water and heat it up slowly, that frog is going to boil to death. That was my experience being with Labeouf. The singer went on to describe the turning point of their relationship when she knew she had to leave him, because she had become so afraid for her life, she wasn't sure if she would come out of the relationship alive. After spending Valentine's Day together at a hotel, she woke up in a shock to find Shia on top of her, with his hands around her neck and starting to strangle her. The next morning, she claims, the abuse continued when Shia threw her on the ground outside of the hotel. Once they had made it inside his car and were headed home, she said he began driving maniacally, demanding that Twigs profess her love for him.
But I would really doubt myself, especially when I'd wake up and he'd be like, "You were lying there with your eyes open, planning to leave me." And I'd be like, "I literally was asleep."
At that moment, she thought he was going to try and kill them both. I was thinking to myself, I wonder what would happen to my body if we smashed into a wall at 80 miles per hour. Do I jump out of the car at 80 miles an hour? After he eventually pulled over at a gas station, she attempted to grab her bags and make a run for them. She knew she had to get away from him as soon as she could. The actor slammed her up against the car and tried to choke her again. Screaming at her, he forced her back into the car. After that incident, Twigs finally called it quits. She didn't want Shia to lay his hands on her ever again. I honestly wish I could say that I found some strength and I saw this light. I wish I could say it is a testament to my strong character, or it's the way my mother raised me. It's none of that. It's pure luck that I'm not in that situation anymore. After going public with her story and filing a lawsuit against Shia, the singer received countless messages of love and support. On Instagram, actress Olivia Wilde also weighed in, writing, "Love, respect, and support at FKA Twigs." Weeks later, reports surfaced that Wilde had fired Labeouf from the movie Don't Worry Darling, that the two were co-starring in, and replaced him with Harry Styles. According to reports, Shia had, quote, displayed poor behavior, and his style clashed with the cast and crew, including Wilde, who ultimately fired him. The actor was also dropped from all promotional material from his other recent film, Pieces of a Woman. Shia's reputation was once again going up in flames, and he released a statement of his own. "I have no excuses for my alcoholism or aggression, only rationalizations. I have been abusive to myself and everyone around me for years. I have a history of hurting the people closest to me. I'm ashamed of that history, and I'm sorry to those I hurt. There is nothing else I can really say." In early 2021, Labeouf reportedly started receiving inpatient treatment and agreed to mutually part ways with his talent agency, CAA. This is not the first time that the actor has been forced to seek help for his aggressive behavior. Back in 2017, Labeouf was arrested for disorderly conduct, obstruction, and public drunkenness while trying to bum a cigarette. The video released of his arrest was an expletive-riddled, racist rant leveled at the police officers, and it was a clear indication that the actor was out of control.
"I got more millionaire lawyers than you know what to do with, you stupid. I'm from it, you dummy." Okay.
He was released soon after his arrest on the condition that he attend a court-ordered 10 weeks in rehab for his addiction to alcohol and aggressive behavior. Labeouf also released a formal apology via Twitter for his behavior towards the officers. He called the incident a new low and expressed a new commitment towards attaining sobriety. It was during his recovery time in rehab that he learned he was suffering from PTSD due to situations he experienced in childhood. "It was the first time I'd been told I had PTSD. I just thought I was an alcoholic, like a true blue drunk, and I needed to deal with that. I knew it was an issue, but didn't know there was this extra whole other thing that was hindering my ability to have any peace in my life, and my ability to deal with people." While in rehab, he took the time to write down all the events from his childhood, and during therapy, he uncovered many more dark situations that occurred that he had blocked out from his memory as a child. One of these events had even been of his mother's rape. The actor confessed that his mother had been assaulted by a man while he was in another room. The unknown man ran out and his mother ran out after him, but they were never able to catch him and he was never found. Many of Shia's trauma was linked to his father, who was addicted to heroin, alcohol, and was both physically and verbally abusive towards him. As a baby, Shia's dad used to hold him upside down to get him to stop crying. One day, during one of his father's drunken rages, he even held a loaded gun towards his son and threatened to shoot him. After writing his life story, along with the countless traumatic events that occurred during his childhood, Shia was able to compose Honey Boy. Rather than portray himself in the film, he chose to play the role of his father. The filming process was in itself a very heavy and emotional journey for the actor, who had to reenact and, in a sense, relive his traumatic childhood experience.
The way that I think is funny, or you ain't gonna get fucking nothing from me.
I'm doing you a favor by
So despite having gone to rehab to deal with everything that he had gone through, it's possible that the making of Honey Boy triggered the actor and undid a lot of the healing that he had done. While there is no excuse for the alleged abuse that Twigs endured at the hands of Shia, he has never denied that he was a broken person and caused harm to those he loved and others around him. Perhaps now the actor will be able to take the time to heal the gaping wounds his childhood has left behind and make amends with those he has hurt. Whether he will be able to recover his career is another question all on its own.
As always, we're very eager to see your opinion in the comments section below. And do tell us which topic we should cover next. Behind-the-scenes dramas of your favorite shows? Why did the seemingly perfect couple break up? How come this Hollywood hottie is still alone? Who holds the title of the most fan-friendly celebrity? Make your voice heard, and we at Rumour Juice will make sure that you never get bored. Subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to tell your friends how cool we are.